Brittney Griner says, let me move this over. Brittney Griner was asked a question at a recent press conference in which she basically was giving her opinion based off of a question that was asked about transgender participating in sports. All right. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. Shout out to Farmer DAce. I appreciate you for the super chat and everybody that continues to hold me down. I had some timestamps for this. I don't know where I put them. Let me see if I can scrub through the video to try to find out where she said that.
Ooh, a little different.
Hold on. First and foremost, why is the voice so deep? Why is Brittney Griner's voice so deep? Before I even scrub through this, why is Brittney Griner's voice so deep? Hold on.
And basketball press conference. A lot of media in here today. I guess I'm going to start with y'all today, right now.
What the fuck is going on? I don't know. I'm going to ask an objective question. I don't know. I'm going to ask an objective question. I do not follow the WNBA. I do not care about the WNBA. I've never been intrigued enough to actually watch or hear Brittney Griner speak. My question is this. Has Brittney Griner always... I see y'all with the super chats. I'm going to read them shortly. Has Brittney Griner always had a voice this deep? Asking for a friend. Has Brittney Griner always had a voice this deep? Asking for a friend. Let me see something.
First off, I just thank y'all for covering me. And
I'm feeling some type of way because I almost feel like I need to be talking more like this. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I need to start talking like DMX out here. Brittney Griner's voice is deeper than mine's. I feel like I need to whisper because I can't get as deep as Brittney Griner. I can't get as deep as Brittney Griner. I can't get as deep as... What the fuck is going on? Listen to this, y'all.
All the exposure that you gave me, my family.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Why is her voice that deep? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I should be talking the way that I'm talking right now unless I'm talking like DMX. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Oh, I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. Just give me a second. Give me, Jesus, be a fence. Help me to get through this, Lord, objectively. Help me to get through this, Lord. Razik talking about Anton, I'm late. How am I late? Like I've been sitting here watching the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to the point where they was asking Brittney Griner a question about Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm and tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I need to get to the question, y'all. We getting distracted. We still got to cover Umar Johnson for the sake of God.
So these are things that we're gonna do throughout this season.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brittney Griner.
Good morning, Brittney. I'm Bill Roden from ESPN Landscape, and it's really great to see you. It's good to know the prayers have been answered.
Listen to Bill Roden. I don't even know who the Bill Roden is. Bill Roden got to talk like this all of a sudden because Brittney Griner is talking like that.
The question, you've always represented so much throughout your entire career about access and, being able to do stuff. And I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but
How come somebody can't ask Brittney Griner whether or not they taking shots, hormone shots, or anything like that? How come nobody? I just want somebody to ask the uncomfortable conversation, because they ask other boxers and stuff if they taking drugs or performance enhancing drugs. They was on Lance Armstrong and Phelps and all of them.
there are a number of states who are aggressively moving to prevent transgender athletes playing. And I was wondering, again, I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but in terms of on your radar, where is that? You're going to have a tremendous platform.
I'm reading super chat shortly. Shout out to Ash. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the platform. I appreciate y'all.
But where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for, athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes, to be able to play?
Hey, spit the god dog question out.
Oh, I mean that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know, everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe and not.
All right. Words mean things. All right. Now that we done got past the voice, words mean things. And what do I mean by saying that words mean things? Brittney Griner specifically. Let me play it for you again.
Deserve the right to. That ranks high.
Athletes.
I'm gonna play it for y'all again.
To be able to play.
Oh, I mean that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know,
on things that Brittney Griner will be fighting for. Will be fighting for and speaking up against. Listen, y'all. Listen. Let me break it down for you. The most LGBT alphabet community forward president that we've ever had in our history was the Obama administration. Joe Biden is the residue from the Obama administration. The Obama administration, as it was communicated to me by different people that had significant platforms, the agenda, according to them, was not a black agenda. It was not just to save or get Obamacare through. That was his landmark thing that he will largely, hopefully, in his mind, will be remembered for. What they did was they tethered and tied the alphabet community to their voter base in order to ensure and do the same thing that they did to the black community, and that ensured having a seat at the table in a position of power long term. Okay? Having a seat at the table in a position of power long term. Now, you have to ask yourself this question, because we just had lawyer Sue Ann Robinson on the platform in the morning, right? Sue Ann Robinson is the family lawyer representing and on behalf of Shanquella Robinson. For those of you that have lived under a rock, Shanquella Robinson is the woman that was brutally murdered in Mexico. And one of the things that Sue Ann Robinson said was, it is hard, and one of the people that can push through and see to it that Mexico can prosecute one or more persons that is responsible allegedly for Shanquella Robinson's death. It is the Biden administration that can give the go-ahead and write off and hit the check mark, hit the button, and have these people deported over to Mexico in order to get prosecuted, right? Now, think about this for a minute. If that be possible, if this is a thing, and all they got to do is hit the button, and we got to go over there and freaking protest on May 19th over in D.C. in order to get the Biden administration to recognize us. And the Biden administration traded, remember this, we're not going to forget it. The Biden administration traded a person that they made a movie about with Nicolas Cage called The Lord of War, and he traded basically the guy that is one of the biggest gun runners identified in our history, so much so that they were holding this guy in what they would call Little Guantanamo outside of Illinois. They traded the Lord of War over back to Russia for Brittney Griner, and they still haven't gotten the prisoner of war over there back home. And of the highest priority, based off of what Brittney Griner literally just said to us, is that the goal is to advocate for people that were not biologically born a man or a woman to compete in women's sports is absolutely wild to me. Now, give me a little bit of rope. I had to talk slow so that I broke it all the way down and help you to understand why it is that I'm looking at this like it is. We traded the Lord of War, the Merchant of Death, for Brittney Griner. And Brittney Griner has come over to the United States of America and said it is of the highest priority. Championing the cause of making sure that you and your daughter, my daughter practices Taekwondo. My daughter is a beast. Just got gold over there in the Dominican Republic just over last week. If my daughter was facing a man in Taekwondo, I would not let her compete. There's no way in the world, if you've ever seen the difference between a man and a woman kick in Taekwondo, there's no way in the world that you would ever allow for a man to kick the fuck out of your daughter. Can you imagine LeBron James absolutely destroying everything inside of the WNBA? Could you imagine a dude that couldn't compete and then he just goes over and he says, okay, well, skip it then. I'm a woman right now. Guess what? I feel like being a white man too. How about that? How about that? I also feel like that I'm a baby right now. So I shouldn't be required to go to work, right? Right? Now we're getting to the point to where I don't want to hear y'all say, don't put your hands on a woman because all is fair in love and war, right? Let's continue.
You know, everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are, or like it's just all eyes on them. So I think it's a crime, honestly, to.
It's a crime. Remember, words mean things. Words mean things. The word that is being used is, I think that it is a crime. It is a crime. Let's continue.
To separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
How long are y'all going to continue to let the people that advocate for us and speak on behalf of what you and your daughter is supposed to be subjected to as you raise your kids? How long are you going to let this culture be championed by and celebrated by the people that are the worst for us? Just curious. Just curious. How long? Because I already warned y'all and I told y'all that this was coming. I told y'all that this is happening. I told y'all that there was an assault on what normal looks like. And I'm wondering, how long are you going to let the people that have the most to say, and y'all champion for this? Listen, I had Lamar Odom just right on the other side of this divider right here. And we sat there and we had a conversation. And Lamar Odom told me out of his own mouth that we should trade for Brittney Griner, the Merchant of Death, because she was Sister Brittney, Queen Brittney. He told me out of his own mouth. He said, Anton, I support my sister Brittney, and we should trade the Merchant of Death for him. And I said, no way, no how. A lot of y'all say that I just let people talk, and that's what I like to do. I like to let people get their full thoughts out when I'm interviewing them. But this man told me that we needed to trade Sister Brittney, and that's where I drew the line in the sand, and I said, no way. There's no way. I told him, and I emphasized that. I said, listen, if it was my own mother over there, We don't trade the Merchant of Death for Brittney Griner at all. And this is what you get. This is what you get. We don't have to hear from Paul Whelan anymore. Y'all thought I forgot his name. We don't have to. Everybody forgot about Paul Whelan. Who is Paul Whelan? Paul Whelan is the person that we skipped over in order to get Brittney Griner here, and we traded the Merchant of Death in order to do so. Bro, if you've ever seen one of them MMA fights that's on YouTube where the dude said that they was a woman and beat the fuck out of them, then you need to go and watch that, and you need to see it. You need to see it. You need to see it. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. So I'm not going for it. I do not support it. I am not advocating for it. And I absolutely think that this is a travesty that we even still having this conversation, and that we seriously are debating in society the possibility of a person that is not biologically born a man participating in women's sports because that's how they feel. All you got to do is say, I feel like a woman, and somebody can walk in a woman's bathroom, pull their pants down like a kindergartner down to their ankles, and use the bathroom regardless of what their genitalia is, what it was that they were biologically born, anything. Are we sitting here really having this conversation and debating this? Are y'all sitting here letting the administration that y'all voted in push forth these agendas? And that's the end of the conversation. This is why, honestly, this is genuinely why I honestly, I anticipated the possibility of not having kids. I anticipated the possibility of not having kids. Me and my wife largely considered not bringing a kid into this world. And it wasn't because we didn't necessarily need a kid. It was because we just thought that the world was just going in the wrong direction, and it's a hell in a handbasket.